Yo, welcome to the 4th edition of FIGANOMICS. Tonight we're talking bounty hunters with our good friend, Maddie's Minifigures, one of the kings of the whatnot game, and certainly a guy who has sold every one of these figures we're talking about. Well, maybe all but one, Maddie. There's going to be an interesting one in there that you threw a little curveball, but you've sold a lot of these in very high quantities, and who better to have for the bounty hunter episode than Maddie?
Glad to be here.
Welcome in to the Girth Gang. The chat is definitely in the building tonight. Pre-play gang. Maddie, I don't know if you knew that's a thing with us. You know, we have a replay gang, and now we have a pre-play gang.
I did. I even dropped a little comment down there myself. I partook in pre-play gang a little bit.
Several folks, in there hanging out. Audio's out.
Is it out?
That was the technical difficulty. Now he's back.
Are we good?
You're good now. Okay. So guys, bear with us. Maddie's audio is kind of having an issue. If it continues, he may drop and call in from his phone line. So we appreciate you guys understanding that these things do happen.
Yeah.
There you go. He's back.
If it keeps dropping, just let me know and I'll rejoin my phone.
Very good. So Maddie, this was definitely a topic that we were both interested in.
Yep.
You probably need to call in, bud.
All right. I'll call in with my phone.
All right, guys. Maddie's going to drop in. No problem. Maddie's going to drop an ad here in a sec. But yeah, this is definitely a topic we wanted to cover. Similar to the Sith episode that we have. There's just so many awesome characters, badasses. You know, I mean, let's face it. We all kind of dig the bounty hunters of the Star Wars game. Really? Everybody's saying they could hear him. So is it me? Really? It's interesting. I'm wondering if I have a problem here with my headphones. All right. Well, we'll try this. Sorry, guys. All right. He's jumping back in now. See if I can do this without phones.
All right, is that any better?
There you go. They're saying it might have been me and they could hear you. So maybe I'm doing something goofy on my end. All right. See. All right. You're looking good. Chat, can you give us a W if we both sound okay? Maddie, say your piece about the bounty hunters and how cool and fun they are. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Bounty hunters are some of the coolest figures because you don't have like just a pure good guy or a pure bad guy. They're kind of their own thing, and they kind of do whatever they want in the Star Wars universe. And Lego's made some really cool, unique ones. Like, a lot of these only came in one set, maybe only appeared in a few episodes or something. So some pretty cool figs for sure.
Absolutely. And, it's interesting because I think, we're definitely going to talk about some Boba Fett tonight. I was curious to see, if you'd sort of take a hit. That show was definitely polarizing, Yeah. And I didn't know the effect it would have on sort of the market or collectability a little bit. He had something like 90 seconds or whatever in the original trilogy. Legend, of course, only grew with some of the prequel stuff and the Clone Wars stuff, made him even sort of more of a rock star. Then he gets his own show, and that went how it went. So it was kind of interesting tracking that. But I think along the way, there's been so many characters that are sort of similar to Boba Fett, where they had sort of limited but impactful screen time. You know what I mean?
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, we are going to dive in here in just a sec. I'd like to welcome everybody to the stream. And, I say it's a little late night, Maddie. I say we maybe feed the ducks a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I saw somebody in pre-play gang tossing out some pepperoni pizzas to those ducks. Gotta make sure they're well fed.
There you go. Yeah, something's jacked with my audio because I can't hear the music. Can you guys hear the music?
I can hear it.
All right. So give us a shot. Sorry, guys. Kind of a rarity of technical difficulties. Let's get it going. Padawan. He's chimed in early and said he's going to be part of Replay Gang. Good to see you, bud. Guys, go follow Padawan. He does have the best Box of Boys content in the game. Maddie, he's better than us at it. And it's like we came up with it. It's unbelievable.
Really? I'm going to have to go drop him a follow on Instagram after this. Does he do like reels and everything?
Yeah, no, he's really funny. He does reels on Box of Boys almost every day. And it's funny. He like involves his girlfriend and like he's got all these different scenarios. It's really great stuff. So shout out to Padawan on Replay Game. Stud Lake in the house. Shreddy joins us again. Shreddy was in early. Man, you guys are maniacs. Some of you. I check in on it. I see what's going on in pre-play. There's people there a couple hours early hanging out. I absolutely love it. Fabu in the house, aka Tyler, maybe. We've never seen them in the same place. I'm just saying. I think we're gonna have Fabu on at some point to prove or disprove this thing, Maddie, that they're the same guy.
I agree. Maybe have Fabu and Tyler on at the same time, just to make sure there's no disguises going on.
Yeah, we'd get like 40 million views if we could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Moments of the Magic. Shout out to Moments. Joe was our last guest. I don't know if you got a chance to catch a little of the Disney episode, but that was a fun one.
I missed that one, but I'm gonna have to go back in and rewatch. I watched all the regular show last week, but missed out on the last week's FIGANOMICS.
Awesome. If you guys remind me to, or I have notes for myself, but if I forget, remind me before the end of the stream. We have the theme knocked out for this Thursday, as well as the guest announcement. So we'll do that as an exclusive right here on FIGANOMICS.
Exciting.
Cool Hand Luke Bricks, what's happening? Seth Studs is in the house. Billy, the commentator. Nick and Bricks. And Brickman USA, how you doing? Dave Bricks in the house. Joseph in the house. Good to see you. Cooper, the most winningest Girth Gang member of all of our contests. I believe he's won a couple. Got ESO Bricks. Hey. Just bricking around. What's up, Pre-Play Gang? Let's see. Who else we got? We got Eli in the house. Ellie in the house. Sorry. Oddball. Logan Wyman. Alternate candidate. Saying hello.
I recognize that guy, Logan Wyman.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He used to buy from me way back in the day.
There you go.
Yeah,
shout out to the long-time customer. Hey, and by the way, Maddie, if you're having to hold that up, if you want to drop again and rejoin with your laptop so you could be more comfy, you can. It was probably something on my end. So
that'd be epic. Keep going through the pre-play.
Yeah, I don't want you to have to hold it. Yeah, let me welcome the chat. Maddie's going to drop. Sorry, guys. You know we try not to have too many tech diffs, but it looks like I got to figure some stuff out. Extra Bricks is here.
I'll be back in just a minute.
You're good. No, it's me. Something happened over here. Derek. The Parkdale Playboy. How you doing? Trying to see if there's any other new names in here. Blue Milk Luke. Hello there. Got Brutus Bricks. Max from West Coast Bricks. Here we go. Maddie's back, and hopefully he's comfy here.
Nice. We're back.
All right.
Now I can look at chat on my phone, too.
Maddie has the Blair Witch cam shaking.
Always.
Speaking of Book of Boba Fett from Nick and Bricks, give us a new Rancor fig. No kidding, man. That thing, what is that trading for nowadays, Maddie? I see anywhere from 100 and something to 200 sometimes if it's minty.
Yeah, I'd say like 125 to 150 is probably where it's usually. I haven't sold one in a while, but I've got one coming in here soon, so we'll see what it sells for.
And maybe you hit me up, and I don't want that to go online, you know?
Hey, I can always do that.
You know what the problem is, though? The problem, I know, I need to give you like a wish list, I think, but you know what the problem is I'm torn on just buying the set, because there comes a point where if you can get one complete with Rancor and everything's intact and all right, the set's like low twos, and the Rancor is the majority of it. So it's kind of
I think that's a great one to just buy the whole set for. Plus, then you get the Rancor Keeper, which is actually a pretty cool fig. He's only in one set, only one version of him too.
There you go. Kaliko in the house, and Matt is in the house. And if I missed you, I apologize. Make a clever comment throughout the show, and I will definitely call you out. We got our first
super.
We got a super here. Let me go ahead and let me pause those ducks for a minute. And this question's for you, Maddie. Take it away.
Maddie, would you ever do a whatnot tips video? I absolutely would.
Cool.
Probably like if it was just me doing it, I'd probably do like a reel or like a TikTok or something like that. But you know, if the ACOG crew wanted to have like a little powwow stream, that'd be fun too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up for it. I got to tell you, I mean, one of the most fun shows we did. You weren't on that one, were you? No, we did one with the Whatnot boys.
Yeah, I watched that one though with Fat and Fritz.
Fritz and
both of those
Ryan.
guys are really good. They could definitely add a lot of tips to that. I probably would miss. So
John Adkins with a clever comment, he gets his name read. You see how that works, guys? You know, little GWP. Yeah, no, I'd be happy to do that if you guys want to see something like that, sort of Whatnot tips. I don't know if he means from the seller side or the buyer side, but I don't think it matters. Yeah. I think both could be a really interesting thing.
For sure, could put a little thing together with both sides.
Now I'm going to ask you the dumbest question ever, but you know we're known to do that every once in a while. Q4 big for you? I mean, are you starting to ramp up now? Is Black Friday kind of the Super Bowl for you guys too? I'm sure you've got some kind of monstrous thing going for.
Yeah. You know, starting now, like all the way ramping up to it. I'll of course have a Black Friday show and stuff. But yeah,
50% off figs, I think is what you were saying. Off the final auction price. Is that
maybe take off a 0? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, awesome deals there for sure. It'll be a good time, but just a great time in general. Like I loved watching that last episode of ACOB, listening to you guys and Stud City and Wolf talk about some of the epic deals that are flying around this time of year. It's just a great time in general to be buying and selling. So it's always fun.
There you go, guys. And if you haven't checked it out, great plug. You're better at this than me. Go check out our last episode on holiday steals and deals, or but basically I tried to bring in a combination of two of my personal favorites, but I do think they I think they both provide a service to the community, whether you buy in, like I said, to invest, or if it's just for you. I mean, the model is still the same, Maddie. It's like get the lowest price deal you can, and if you want one to rock and one to stock, which a lot of people do if there's sets they really love. I mean, I know personally several people who bought a couple gunships and Razor Crests, which God bless that bill. But
yeah,
I mean, but you think about it, if you get them for that low, and even if you're just holding one, I'm guaranteeing your copy is going to be free at some point, and it might not be in the too distant future.
The thing I wish I would have done is put a bunch of different addresses for the Lego.com deal on those Clone Command Station packs when they're like $12 earlier this year. Man, I wish I had done that, because that was a sweet deal right there.
Brutus wants to know if you're going to Bricks and Minifigs in KC, Matty.
I will. So Kansas City is getting Bricks and Minifigs opening up on November 4th, and the guys that are opening it up, a couple of great guys, Will and Jack, and then there's another guy who I've not met yet, but Will and Jack are awesome dudes. And they asked me to be a part of their grand opening, so I'm gonna be there. So if you guys want to say hi, come on down. I'd love to meet some of you guys that I interact with, and that'd be awesome, man. I've never been to a Lego convention or anything like that, so like getting to actually meet some of the people I talk to online would be super cool. If any of you guys are free on November 4th, it's Saturday. I think the grand opening is at 10 a.m. and I'll be there bright and early when the doors open.
There you go. Maddie's an awesome seller on Whatnot. 70% of my collection came from Maddie. Look at you.
Goodwin's too kind. He's at every single one of my auctions. chilling in the stream, always has kind things to say.
Cameron Klein. So we are, of course, seeing a couple new names in here tonight. Definitely here to see and support Maddie, as well as our usual Girth gang out there. If you guys are new here, please leave a like and sub if you like what you're seeing. Maddie will be rotating in, I think, on occasion when his busy schedule permits and when the subject makes sense. Maddie will be coming into the show.
Absolutely.
And then, I'm telling you, we got a crazy slate of shows leading up to Christmas. And you guys know we always challenge ourselves to try to get creative with the topics and the guests and all that. And that's not going to stop anytime soon. And a huge shout out to everyone out there that supported. Maddie, I think you might have seen we finally crossed a milestone of 2,000 subs. And what's interesting is it didn't stop there. We're dang near at 2,050. I mean, that lapped pretty quick. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's nice.
We're excited, guys. That doesn't mean everything to me, but it lets me kind of know that like what we're doing is working and you guys are digging it, and it super motivates us to kind of keep up this pace to deliver these fun shows that I think you guys hopefully have fun watching. I know we have fun making them, and yeah, man, it's just really, really cool to kind of see it reflect that way. I mean, it's a scoreboard for everything, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, it's so encouraging when you see like a little number pop up. It's just a number, but man, it really is encouraging. It's a nice little shot of adrenaline straight into the veins and makes you ready for the next 100 streams.
There you go. All right, boys, without any further ado, Maddie, this is our fast show, so we're going to jump right in here. If you guys want to see a big marathon show, those are usually on Thursdays, but these ones we kind of keep a little bit tidy. Tonight we are talking bounty hunters with Maddie's minifigures. You can see a little sampling of them there. I need most of those. I only have maybe one or two of those, and see, Zam's another one. It's an interesting example. Before we even get started, Maddie, I really want Zam, but I want that set, and it's kind of like you're halfway there if you get it used on a decent deal. Get Zam. So
Zam's such a cool figure too. I love the color sand purple. Sand purple was only used on a few Lego parts back in the day, and I think Zam might have been the only figure to ever have sand purple as a color.
There you go. And real quick, shout out to Brent from Brent's Bricks. He just wanted to pop in real quick. Heard Maddie say I was going to get there, Brent. He's never been to a convention. Dude, Maddie, you got to come to Brick World, dude.
Might have to make it happen.
If you're going to pop that convention cherry, you might as well go to the Super Bowl. And we'll have tons of friends there. We'll take care of you.
I've got a wee bit of a conundrum with the Lego conventions.
Oh, God.
So Brick World happens in June, right?
Yeah. Father's Day weekend.
Yeah. So it always happens on the same weekend as me and my wife's anniversary.
Oh, get a divorce. I mean, that's
so this past year is our 1 year anniversary. So I couldn't do it on the 1 year anniversary. Maybe the 2 year though. We'll see.
Bring her to Chicago.
True. We could get a little penthouse up there.
Say, hey, honey, this is how I'm paying for this trip. I got to be seen. I got to go out, shake hands, kiss babies. Listen. The hotel they have it in is a really nice place. I say we put her in the spa. There we
go.
Little massage.
Hey, make the whole thing off as business expense, right?
Dude,
there we go.
Listen, you're coming up with all this yourself. I love it. It's fantastic. All right, boys, let's jump in. So we have a couple categories that we talk about each and every week, and we're going to start off right off the rip. Fig of the week. For a lot of people, this is the whitest whale there is. Maddie, I'll let you take it away. My take is, real quick, is we all know this figure is legendary. It continues to rise. The range there, you can speak on it. It's used to new. It doesn't mean people are necessarily getting that much, but I feel like if you pay for a full set, you're in that range, and a lot of people buy it specifically for this Boba Fett. The bad show and all hasn't seemed to slow this one down.
Yeah, I agree. This one's I would say I don't think it's really risen a whole lot in the past year and a half or so, something like that. But it certainly hasn't gone down in value. And the amount has gone up in value is pretty crazy from just a few years ago. So I started selling in early 2019, spring of 2019, and I sold a decent amount of these figures back then. That's pre-COVID, and these figures were going for about $200 to $300 a piece. I remember the first time I sold one of these for $300. People were absolutely going crazy in the chat saying like, "Oh, who would pay $300 for this figure?" and everything. And I thought I made out like a bandit selling that $300. And then, COVID happened, and you could almost see the dollar amount just go up every single day on this figure. It was wild.
Couple folks in the chat are saying it's ugly AF, it's mid, it's all that. And I hear you, because the newer ones are actually, obviously not even objectively, they're factually better looking than this one. But there is something to be said for, I guess, rarity at this point. The set itself just commands. I'm wondering, like, did they both rise at the same time? I'm assuming the set went up because his figure value went, and they have all kind of gone up. Right?
Yeah, it kind of went up in tandem.
Yeah. Other figures in the set. What's the second most? The Lando?
So Lando really depends on his cape condition. If that cape is crispy and minty, that's definitely the second highest figure. If the cape's pretty beat up, a nice minty Luke might jump that, but I would say second highest figure is probably that Lando.
Some people are saying, or Vexplex is saying, at least the green is the same as the torso of the helmet, right? I mean, they don't necessarily always get that right. So for kind of an older fig, they did do something right. There's fans of it. There's people bashing on it. I get it, but it is what it is. This thing has seen a ton of movement, as Maddie said. In 2019, 4 short years ago, it was like 90% less or something.
Yeah.
And now, so boys, when you're, buying lots or checking yard sales, I mean, I don't know. That's the only way you're probably going to come across one of these in an attic or something somehow before Maddie beats you to it,
I've got a buddy who found one of these in a like a Savers thrift store bag with a bunch of other just random junk toys.
There you go. So miracles do happen, but yeah, we'll start with Cloud City Boba Fett. I get it. It's kind of an obvious pick, but we really couldn't leave him off the list because this is, one of the highest value bounty hunters, or so we thought. Here we go.
This is a good one right here.
There's something weird happening with like a shadow at the bottom of his feet. Sorry about that, but what can you tell us about this Greedo? We're calling it the Han shot first. Greedo, the only person that that has one has put a bounty of $15,000 on this fig. What's the lore on this one?
Yeah, so honestly, I don't know too much about this. Someone in chat might actually know more about this, but the first time I ever saw this figure was in the back of the 2009 LEGO Star Wars Visual Dictionary. In the back of that visual dictionary had a few pages of just interesting little Lego things. Had like a behind the scenes wall of a bunch of different figures Lego made in, I think it's like 2008, maybe 2007. But then there was this figure, an all black Jar Jar Binks, and the George Lucas figure right on the bottom row. And everyone, kind of went crazy for that because they didn't know about that until that time, from what I remember. And then, for the longest time, I'd never seen a high definition picture or anything like that of this figure, and wasn't really sure if there's more than one out there. But, Rarest Lego Minifigures over on Instagram, good old Samuel, he managed to track one of these things down, and he is very good at determining if something's legit. So I have no doubt in my mind that his is legit. And really cool figure. And not sure how many of them were made, but I do believe they were given out to certain Lego employees. I'm not exactly sure how many employees got one, which employees got one, or when they got one.
Here's a really good shot of it.
Find more information about that than what I know. So
this was an auction. And And it says log in to see the actual winning bid. And I don't know when this was, but here's a really high def shot of this thing.
Wow.
It's very detailed. I mean, besides the legs, obviously, but this is pretty badass.
I think it's cool that they used the arm prints from that 2003 one.
Oh, for sure.
Also, I'm just going to say real quick, Stud Sidious just mentioned something in chat here. He says supply and demand. I get that, but still don't understand why the New York City Yodas. Oh, okay. He's talking about New York City Yoda. My bad. I thought he was talking about this one.
They were a free giveaway. Well, that's it. I mean, it's purely supply and demand. The initial price of that figure, that Yoda figure, didn't matter. Even if they were selling them for, they couldn't sell a minifigure back then for $20. But maybe they could. Anyway, yeah. I mean, you'll often find, and this is another example. This figure was not sold. That's kind of how this stuff works a lot of times. So it says it was made exclusively for the design team in Billund. And it was never released to the general public. So there you go.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of these are actually out there.
It doesn't say in this thing here. This was an auction site from a past article. Shout out to the prop store auction for helping inform us a little bit more of the lore of this bad boy. But I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I had seen it once or twice before, but I never sort of read into it anymore than we did now. So there you go.
Pretty cool.
Definitely. All right. On to the next. All right. So we're going to get into volume and what character you sell the most of. Bricklink, also sells the most of this character, not to be surprised. So of all the bounty hunters out there, and don't worry, guys, you will see a lot of Boba Fett tonight, but we got some other stuff to kind of spice it up for you. Don't worry. So we got to kind of hit the what am I trying to say? We got to tick all the boxes of what we normally do in the format, but we're going to break
pay your Boba tax to get to the
Boba tax.
Unique ones.
So many Boba sets out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So volume figure again, Maddie. We covered it. Everybody's still sort of Boba Fett crazy, regardless of what happened out there. I feel you can get like a lower end Boba. He's usually not a $5 fig, right? I mean, it can happen depending, but he's always a little bit more, even for like the worst one, right?
Well, depending on the figure, I would say that one from the Boba Fett show and the Mandalorian is probably like a $5 figure.
Okay,
just because he came in that microfighter and Boba's Palace, which both of those sets you can find them anywhere.
Deep discount.
Yeah, deep discount.
Yeah. So there's a good range there. This one, is this the 20th anniversary? Which one is this?
You'd have to pop the helmet off, I believe, because the UCS Boba, as well as the one from the New Cloud City, that one from like 2017.
Yeah, that's right.
Both of those looked exactly the same, but just different heads. I believe one of them just has a angry clone face, and then the other one has a unique head. I can't remember which one goes to which set, but that is this one looks like, because I think I see a little bit of arm printing poking through there. And
we had a quick oddballs asking 8K. So it's the range on all Boba Fett's, right? So that's kind of what I put out there. That's why there's such a wide gap there, because there are so many Boba Fett figs. You can get some. Maddie's now updated. You can still get them for $5. Sounds like on Maddie's auctions. Another reason to visit. Load up on your Boba game if you haven't already acquired one from the multiple deep discounts of the sets that he mentioned, and it kind of goes through a wave of different price ranges for Boba. He's kind of all over the place there, depending on the fig. So Boba definitely high volume, moves a lot of figures. Second one, I think, again, because of the recency of the show, exploding the number of sets, all that stuff, again, kind of a letdown season 3 in a lot of people's eyes. But Din Djarin, a.k.a. Mando, the Mandalorian, he's got some $5 figs out there. And the high end, of course, is the UCS Razor Crest. What are your thoughts on this as far as futures? I mean, we're going from a point where he was in a lot of sets and really, really available, but we're getting around. We have had some retirement of some, but we're getting around retirement of a few of those other sort of early Mando sets.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting point. So that first one with the gunmetal gray helmet, not this one, but that one that came with the Raider set. The thing with that one is now that one was exclusive to that set, I believe.
Yep.
But there's so many of those Raider sets that are bought up. Just going back to last ACOB episode, like Wolf was saying, he's got 200 or 300 of those sets. There's so many of those things. Yeah, a lot of them. Still, so many of those things floating out there, and it is exclusive. It's probably worth a little bit more than the one they made right after it, just because the one right after it they made in so many different sets. The first Beskar version.
That's the key. And by the way, I've noticed that I don't buy a lot, but I check out the Hot Toys stuff.
Yeah.
His first Hot Toys with the non-Beskar seems to be fetching the most. And then they've got one with a little bit of Beskar, and then they did one just kind of blinged out. And so people are wanting to go back and get the old sort of dusty Din Djarin rookie figure, which, Maddie, I think I talked to you about this last time we were on. I want that to be a thing so bad.
Yeah.
I want rookie figures to mean something, but I get that there's so many sort of pieces that go into driving the value of a fig. Certainly having it in 97 sets doesn't help things, but if you can have a rookie figure and it's not in a bunch of other sets, I think that's a really nice recipe for something to be highly collectible.
For sure. I would agree with that.
Any other thoughts on Din Djarin? I mean, I think that take from the beginning of this portion here is, there's a swath of them right now.
Yeah.
But I think the Mando stuff's kind of winding down. They'll bring them back when the next season comes, when that happens. But
yeah, that's the thing with the Mandalorian. Honestly, I'd rather have the most updated version of the Mandalorian, not one of his previous versions.
Yeah.
So me personally, I have a hard time seeing why 10 years from now someone's going to want to go back and get his less cool version where he doesn't have Beskar, when you could just get a Beskar one. That's just my opinion on it. I may be totally wrong on that, but here in a couple of years when they release another season of The Mandalorian, they're gonna make a bunch more Mandalorian sets. They're gonna make a bunch more Mandalorians, probably make him look even better than what he already looks. So I'm not a huge fan in believing that they'll increase that much in value, but who knows? I could be totally wrong on it.
Well, and then again, for this for this segment, it is volume. He just happens to move, a lot of volume as a bounty hunter for all the reasons we explained.
For sure.
The recency bias, his price points are affordable. His top end fig isn't to the moon yet. So if you don't have plans on getting that Razor Crest, we saw that big, price break. I've seen a lot of, discount, or I've seen a lot of set ending, retirement ending sets this year. This is showing up on some of those lists. So anyway, if this is something you think you want, I would track one down. And again, 65 is the top end on that. You could probably find the UCS Din Djarin for less than that if that's something that you're wanting to get.
Yeah, you probably could.
Yeah. And if you want to get all the Mandos, I should know this. I feel like there's only 5 or so variants of Mando out there. So
I believe
if if you're a completionist, this shouldn't be, impossible for you to get.
Yeah.
All right. Figure that has been on the rise. Again, guys, it's Boba Fett heavy. I promise we're going to break away here in a second. But Maddie called this out. This thing has seen some pretty explosive growth. This is the Boba Fett polybag. There are some other white or prototype Boba Fetts. What's going on with this one, Maddie?
Man, this is just iconic. Same with the Cloud City Boba Fett. There's something about that open visor Boba Fett look that just makes you fall in love with it. Very tough fig to find. This is one of those where Unlike Revan, I do believe that you do pay a little bit extra to get it sealed. But at the same point, this is also a figure that has a very, very simple print on it. And I'm not sure how easy it would be to replicate it. But if you're very concerned about like a fake figure or something like that, just spend a little bit extra, get the sealed one for peace of mind, even if you go to open it up. But beautiful fig right here, man. It's a beauty for sure. It's got all my favorite things. So it's right in that time frame where Lego had like decent prints and stuff, but you still got a nice, clean, simple look to it.
Is this 09 somewhere in there?
Let's see. Well, let's see. 30th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. So I think this is 2011.
81. Yep, you're right. 2011
Yep.
be 81. 81 is when Empire came out. Okay. Now, is this now there is the other prototype Boba that came in one of the books, right? So this is more of the OG helmet design. The other one is a little more sort of Lego modern. Is that right?
Yeah. The other one's got like leg printing. Doesn't have arm printing, but has some nice leg printing, torso printing. Has a unique head instead of just a black head. Has the updated Mandalorian helmet as well.
Good night, Cool Hand. Thanks for stopping by and staying up till almost 4 a.m. for this. We'll see you on replay, gang. Maddie, do you buy figs? And if so, what percentage? I don't what
I'm guessing he's talking about what percentage of their value do I buy them at. It really varies per figure, but I do buy a lot of figures because I do sell them. So I gotta get them somehow. I don't have that Lego figure tree planted just yet. If it did, I'd just be going out in my backyard and picking them. But I do buy quite a few of them. So if you have some you want to sell, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm making deals over there on the daily.
There you go. And obviously, buying in volume helps, right, Maddie?
For sure, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, Maddie buys lots. He buys collections. I'm sure you buy some one-off stuff too, but I mean, if you really want to eat, so to speak, it's a lot easier to do a big deal than paying individually for figs, just for inventory and cash flow sake. It just makes more sense.
Yeah, just yesterday I got a guy's collection and just a figure collection that I paid $3,800 for. So some good ones in there for sure. You had a sealed ARC Trooper, sealed Revan, all sorts of good stuff.
There you go. Oh, Empire was 80, so 2010. Okay. Okay. Sometimes the figs will come out though at a different time, so we can look that up. But either way, it's in that range. Both white Bobas are sick. I agree. Oh, Shreddy's still.
I love that box art. The pack. I guess in this case it's the packaging, since it did not come in a box. But I love that Captain Rex up there.
Everybody loves that. Everybody loves that Rex. A lot of us love that Empire. Anything with Empire, that logo is real clean too. Yeah, it's just a nice presentation, and this is definitely one that benefits from, not being able to breathe in that poly.
Yeah, for sure. Another point I want to make about this one, Rising, if they do make another prototype white Boba Fett here sometime in the future, I highly doubt they're ever going to go back to the old open visor helmet. So that might kill the value on the newer white Boba, but I doubt it'd really affect this one with the old open visor helmet.
There you go. Shreddy's out there having a moment. He stole the white prototype Boba, but he did return it, everybody. So in case, the Barnes & Noble police or whomever are out there, Shreddy has returned the figure, and he felt really bad about it. So
good for you, Shreddy.
There's your Sports Center update. All right. But yeah, guys, I mean, if you're interested in this one, I know the price seems crazy, but Maddie's seen it continue to climb, and so have I, evidenced by Bricklink and trends and all that. So if this is something you'd like to get, I know the price seems crazy, but we could be back talking about this thing doubling up in a few years. Who knows what's going to happen? So
you could be like those guys who thought I was crazy for selling a Classic Boba at 300 when they thought that was crazy high, and now like he's $2,000.
Jeez.
So,
all right. So getting into prospects. So we wanted to, instead of having just one or two, we wanted to bring 6 in here that Maddie has curated. These are all, bounty hunter figs that kind of range in price. And Maddie, I was going to ask you to kind of from the top of the dome talk about where some of these are at now, and maybe particulars on each one on, sort of why you think they may see some upside in the future. And again, guys, this is both for if you want to invest in these things or if you just need them for your collection. Why you might want to grab something. Likelihood of it being made again, pretty low, I think, on some of these. Some of them maybe not. We'll get into that. But Maddie, I'll turn it over to you. Let's start with the young Boba Fett there on the top.
For sure, yeah. So I really like that young Boba. Very nice looking figure. I believe that one came out in one of the advent calendars. I want to say, man,
I'll find it.
I'm not gonna remember the correct year on that, but he's only about $6 right now, so you can buy him very easy. But he still looks very nice. Like that figure could be released today, and I think everyone would be pretty pleased with how he looks. So it still looks great. Very low buy-in. I'm not sure when they'll make another young Boba. They very well could, but I feel like this figure could hit $10 very soon. I mean, that nice little jump from 6 to 10, you're almost doubling your money there. It's not the highest increase per dollar per figure, but percentage wise, it's a nice one. And it's young Boba. They've only made 3 versions of young Boba. They made the original 2002 Jango Fett Slave one. They made that one that looks very similar to this one in the Obi-Wan Kenobi hyperspace ring. Now that one, although it's just a slightly different shade of blue on the torso, I think it has different print on the belt. Could be a different head, I'm not sure. But that one, I believe, is about a $40 to $60 figure. So just a slightly different version of him, $6. I pick this guy up over that one from Obi-Wan Starfighter any day, whether it be for a little investment or to add to your collection.
Brent swinging by. Good to see you, Brent. Brent's got some homework going on for the new gig. So shout out to Brent for the new job. Got some onboarding stuff going on. He will definitely, we'll see him Thursday night on the main ACOB show. So many funny comments out there. Real quick plug too, by the way. I made a community post today asking the Girth Gang if you guys want to send in little video clips through our Instagram at Brickheads Pod with some hot takes, stuff you like about the show, stuff you want to see more of, or just anything that kind of comes to mind that's semi-related to what we do here. Isn't too crazy. Send it our way. I would like to start, doing some Girth Gang video shout outs in the show. And, possibly if it works and people want to do it, we could have, questions here on the show. I know you guys can do that in chat, but, I thought it'd be a little fun to maybe see some of you guys if you're open to it. And we'd love to highlight you on the channel. So video shout outs, send us kind of a short clip. Can't be, super long, but get your points across. And, we'd love to check it out here on the streams.
I might have to send in a few little clips myself there.
There you go. Maddie will send some takes. Maddie sends me on the DM just little stuff about, certain shows and stuff. And, I appreciate all your guys sending us notes. I feel like we're pretty good at responding. We get back pretty quick, as quick as we can. Try to comment on all your comments and all that stuff. So again, thank you guys for, all the cool conversations that we have, not only on here, but, over on our other social channels and DMs and all that stuff. You guys are the best. All right, let's move on. And what's funny? I was realizing, Maddie, as you were talking through Boba, we've spent another 4 or 5 minutes on Boba again. I'm like, all right, guys, I promise there's no more Boba. We got other stuff in the very first figure. But he's young, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, you got the king size Boba. Now you get the fun size.
There you go. And, it's a cool little fig. I mean, look, I'd rather get that than, my 10th similar Boba. At least it's radically different. So for that reason, absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like a crime undervalued. 2013 Advent, I looked it up. So 10-year-old fig for around $6, even at 10 if it's minty, it's better than buying a micro fighter for $20 or whatever they are now. So
for sure.
And he'd have something cool.
Now what we need is a Jango Fett in his street clothes too to match Boba's. That'd be cool.
There you go. Oh, that's true. He did wear that outfit too. Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm. Some Kevin Owens running around in the background.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. All right, Jango Fett Christmas. Talk to me. I mean, it's Jango. There's not a lot of Jango product out there. Not enough. There's not as much as there could or should be in a lot of people's eyes. The Christmas sweater deal, if you're a completionist on those, you're going to need this Jango. I've recently started looking back because, I started around 2019. I've gotten all those advents, but, I've been seeing them all out there, and that the really dope Santa Claus Vader. Yeah. There's a couple heaters from that, early 2010s range for sure that I need to get in the collection. And I'm happy to report that none of these seem like crazy out of hand yet. What is this Christmas Jango going for roughly?
I'd say he's about 15 or so. Prices really vary on this one because I feel like the closer you get to Christmas, this guy starts going up in price. Yeah. But then, if you were to look at this guy in the spring, he's probably a little bit cheaper. So maybe in that 10 to 15 range, first half of the year. Then closer you get to Christmas, he probably creeps up 15, 20, 25, somewhere in there. But he's a really cool fig. This is actually my favorite Christmas figure out of all of them because so I'm not a huge fan of the Christmas sweater figs. I know that's kind of a hot take right there. Hey, clip that and put it in the video.
You are a fan of the Christmas sweaters, or you're not?
I am not. No.
This is 2013 as well, by the way. So
okay.
Would it make more sense to just get the whole advent count? See, that's one of those things where it's like buy the fig, buy the set.
Very well may. So I prefer this style of Christmas fig over the Christmas sweaters because you get a little bit of a unique style. So this one you get that classic Mandalorian armor, but then you get this really cool little ruffling he's got up here, and then he's even got a little holly berry pinned right on the left side of his chest plate there, which I think is a really cool addition. He's got a little sack of presents on his back too. So I prefer this style of Christmas fig over the generic Christmas sweater where they have a little bit of fun with it rather than just slapping a sweater on him.
I mean, despite the little sack, I think that this is a tremendous.
He makes up for the little sack with a big present.
I'm an eternal 13-year-old. What am I going to say? No, I agree. I think it's really cool when they sort of fold it into their sort of existing gear rather than just, in this case, his armor.
Yeah.
Rather than just no, guys, this is an ugly Christmas sweater because ugly Christmas sweaters have been a thing since 2010 or whatever, whatever ugly, it used to be ironic that people wore ugly Christmas sweaters, and that's what made it fun. But then when they started mass producing intentionally ugly Christmas sweaters, to me, the whole thing sort of jumped the shark, if that's a saying anybody still uses. The point is, I think this is fantastic. I've definitely had my eye on this one, and I think for this holiday season, even if there's a little $5 spike going on right now, it's I don't know, man. I'm going to need this, that Maul, and that Vader, and I think I'm getting pretty close. I'm sure there's some variants. And by the way, guys, chat, if you guys want, let us know, Girth Gang. Do you want to see a holiday figures episode of Figanomics? I think that could be really interesting.
I'd love to be on that one. That'd be fun.
All right. Well done. Yeah. Maddie's just been signed. I think Maddie will wait till we're in the midst of November, when everything's really kind of heating up.
Oh, yeah.
People are getting those final ideas. The advents are flowing and about to be opened. I think that'd be a really cool time to do the holiday figures because there are some definite heaters. I think this is one. And again, guys, it doesn't necessarily have to do with price. This is what's nice about having a Maddie on here. He could we could have just lined this entire list with all these figs that are $4,000, which we did a lot in the beginning, but on these are the ones that we think are really cool and have upside and are kind of undervalued, for lack of a better term.
These are the juicy nugs right here.
These are the nugs. I mean, you can get all these for the less than the price of anything we probably showed before. Well, except for a couple of those Mandos, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into RSing. as you know, I've started my journey through the Clone Wars. I've seen the episode with her. Definitely wanted to get her. Am going to get her at some point.
Yeah.
There's only one version of her character out there?
Yeah. That one version that came with the bounty
one
hunter
and done rookie. She's really cool on the show. She hangs with other bounty hunters. What have you been seeing? You just feel like undervalued? You starting to see a little movement to where it's like you might want to jump on? What are we seeing on her, and what's her current price?
Yeah, this figure, it's not jumping a whole on price. Like pre-COVID, this was like a $7 fig. Now it's like a $15 fig, so a little jump, but like nothing too crazy. This is one of those that I think everyone should just pick up because I don't think it's going to ever go down in price because I don't think Lego's going to remake this figure because it's unique enough to the Clone Wars show and the comics and that sort of thing. But a lot of people are picking this figure up out of nostalgia for the Clone Wars. It's got that Clone Wars effect to it. So just pick this fig up, man. If you don't have this one in your collection, and if you want to get all the bounty hunters someday, or even just a lot of the Clone Wars figs, add this to the collection. $15.
There you go. And Cities is out there. I was trying to figure out what he was talking about, but holiday special Boba, sand blue. That would be awesome. Have you ever seen the variant of Boba Fett, sand blue? He was in this awful TV special.
I have. So
he thinks people wouldn't care, and only us old farts would. But I think people would super care about if they made something that cool. I don't know.
That would be so cool. Imagine that pops up in an advent calendar. People would go nuts for it. So, fun fact about that figure: back in like 2019, 2020, somewhere in that range, there's a guy on Instagram who made 20 customs of a sand blue Boba Fett. Looked absolutely amazing. He hand painted them all and stuff. I was lucky enough to pick one up back in the day, and then recently sold it maybe a year or so ago. But that was a cool custom right there. And I'd love to see what Lego would do with it.
I think customizers should be thinking that direction now, especially the way everything's advanced. I would definitely take a copy of that because it's funny because I didn't know what Sidious was saying either because he's saying holiday Boba. And I think for a lot of people that are maybe in the chat, a lot of age ranges out there, they might be like, oh, you mean like in an advent calendar? And it's like, yes, but we mean a very specific set of armor. If you guys want to, well, see, we have the internet here. It's so amazing. We can solve that and share with our friends. But
I'll even one up that figure to include a spring-loaded stud shooter jetpack on the back, so it could be like the rocket firing action figure Boba Fett. I think that'd be pretty cool. Get a little extra nostalgia in there.
I mean, this is from a Comic-Con. I'm having a problem finding the still from the show, but let me see if I can pull up. This is kind of what the gear looks like. But what was interesting is I know for a fact it would do okay because at Galaxy's Edge, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. And by the way, this was Boba Fett's debut, I believe. So this holiday special was between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. But anyways, Maddie, they did like a limited edition. It was like a plush or something at Galaxy's Edge, and people went berserk for this thing, which, you know,
understandable.
If you're hardcore enough to go, and what's funny is a lot of people are saying prototype Boba Fett was white, and sure, but this was actually his initial sort of colorway. So, and you can see, and I'm wondering, because I know George supposedly laid out everything beforehand, and I say that because I still think a lot of the prequels weren't really ironed out. I think you had a
if we're gonna open that can of worms, we got. Well, I mean,
you can bring whoever you want, but I'm just saying, like, I think that George kind of rectified. This was the original color, and now you see what Django's color ended up being. So they did kind of tie in this sand blue thing. I wasn't about to trash the prequels again.
Okay,
I'm too tired for that.
The cool cool that you mentioned that. I never thought about that before, but that definitely could be part of it. I know they used a bunch of the original Ralph McQuarrie artwork from back in the day, back in the mid 70s when George was still, kind of just figuring out Star Wars and what it's going to be. They used a lot of that art in the Star Wars Rebels show. So all kinds of cool stuff in there.
Matt, if you have a link or something you can share that's a better example. I mean, I see the cartoon one. Or maybe that's all there was.
Cartoon one's a good look. I believe there was the original Boba action figure was actually in that color scheme. I could be wrong.
Wasn't the holiday special live action though? No, I'm thinking of the Ewok one. Never mind.
They had that cartoon one.
Yeah,
the original, and then I think the Ewok one came in the 80s sometime, didn't it?
Here's a look here. Let's do that. Sorry, guys. I think he was just a little bit brighter colored. It was more muted. Let's get real nerdy here. Let me see what's going on here.
I remembered a little bit of red on that cartoon one, but I could be wrong on that.
There you go. Yeah, so the red was on his weapon there. This is from StarWars.com, so I mean this is pretty official.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So you can kind of see, yeah, you're right. The cosplay I was showing you was a little more yellowed. So it's interesting. You can kind of see the evolution. He ended up keeping sort of the green vibe there.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, if they made that and put this weapon in his hand, I think everyone would lose their mind. And if the advent calendar sales are sagging, this is the kind of play they could make. I mean, obviously this could also be in a standalone set. I just feel like, see, that's where I think it'd be risky. If you put this in a standalone set, I don't know how big it would draw, but I think as part of an advent, just to give it that little extra stank, to get it out there.
Or a May 4th Poly.
Let's go.
That'd be sweet.
Hey, we take any May 4th Poly.
Yeah.
We included a miniature figurine in it. We would
also, that like spear thing he had looked a lot like the Mandalorian's rifle with kind of that 2-prong thing at the end.
Oh, 100%.
Lines on it.
100%.
I bet that's where they got inspiration from.
All right. So covered Aura and now Embo. And here's what's interesting about Embo. Maddie, I think I told you today and possibly before as I'm, again, making my Clone Wars animated series journey. I really like this guy. And the dangerous thing is right after this episode, I think they were kind of taking over these farmers or something. He shows up.
With Aura Singh, Embo, Sugi.
Was Asajj there too? No,
I don't think Asajj.
Oh, Cad Bane? Was Cad there? No.
Don't believe so. That's actually where that bounty hunter gunship came from, is from that Clone Wars arc.
There was somebody else there. There was 4 of them, I think.
Let's see. Embo, Aura Singh, Sugi. Was it an IG-88 droid?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably. And then they're fighting Hondo.
Yeah. It was cool. Yeah. So, anyways, right after this, and that's what happens when you watch the Clone Wars. I'm like, I bet they made a fit. Yes, they did. And it's awesome, man. It's a little, like, he's not out of hand. Where is he? Like 30, 50? He's not super cheap, is he?
Yeah, he's like right between probably 30 and 45, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
I'd like to shout out Life Breaks comment there. The little guy in the robot. I forgot about him. That guy, that little tiny dude that crawls out of that mech and the thing out of the giant saw blades and stuff. Thanks, Tyler. I forgot about that guy. That was such a cool one. I remember I had his action figure back, and then you could like open up the thing and like put the little guy inside. That was
cool. To me, what's so epic is they got the hat, which obviously big part of his character. Tremendous figure. Looks great. One of the coolest looking figures I've seen. Of the few here on this slide, I really like. That one really kind of stands out to me. There's just so much going on. So huge shout out to Embo. I love Embo. They didn't use him enough. I agree with that. I mean, kind of tells me we're maybe not going to see him a whole lot more in the Clone Wars. Maybe we will, but
he pops up
immediately, not every
least.
episode. I race over and go like, all right, what's the story with this one? You know,
I know he pops up at least 2 other times I can think of right offhand. I won't say anything about him to not spoil it for you, but yeah, such a cool figure, and that hat alone goes for at least $20 last time I checked.
And you know, Eli, I'm gonna go with Eli. I think you can tell me what it is in the chat. Hondo is one of the best Clone Wars characters. So what's interesting for me is I agree, but I was introduced to him through Galaxy's Edge because at that point I wasn't really watching a lot of the Clone Wars stuff. And, you know, I think we would have gotten another Hondo figure if Galaxy's Edge sort of like really took off, or if that freighter set, I always forget the name, but the blue set that they came out with for Galaxy's Edge, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the transport set,
the TT transport, whatever it was. Yeah. That one didn't do so well at the box office, which, to be honest with you, there's a lot sexier sort of ships laying around Galaxy's Edge. I don't know if I would have started there. I thought it was really cool, of course, because I'm also a major Disney head. It was the only one with the Galaxy's Edge branding on it. I was like, oh, this is the start of something. But even then, I was like, this thing is not moving. Uh-oh, here comes clearance. So I don't know if we're going to get any more, but if we do, I think if we do get a Hondo, our best chance is to get one through some sort of, you know, Galaxy's Edge set if they ever make one again. But
for sure. For that set, it would have been sweet to have a little Hondo gift with purchase. That would have been nice.
Definitely. Embo will be in the Rey movie. All right. Embo would murk Rey. Yeah.
I had to give my boy Embo some buffs there.
It's pronounced Eli. All right, just spelled with a Y. That freaked me out even more. I'm like, is it Ellie then? No, it's the Eli. Okay, got it. That set is going up in price though. Yeah, look, I think most of those are uniques in that set too. Speaking of that transport from Galaxy's Edge, last I was checking, Tyler, it was still only around 100. Has it been going from there? Because I'm kicking myself for not getting a second copy.
Lieutenant Beck, I think, is his name. He's the gray skinned
Mon Calamari, he's the pilot when you start taking your tour on Rise of the Resistance. Yeah,
I did not know he was the pilot there, but I do know he's like a $40 fig now.
Yep, and the girl in there with the blue hair, Vi Marati, I believe is her name.
Yeah, I wouldn't know her name.
I know more about Galaxy's Edge lore than I do Clone Wars at this point. I'm getting there though. I know who Embo is, and I think that makes me a baller in the space. You know, so 140. Sure. Wow, it's going up. Sealed in box 140, boys. That's one to watch. And by the way, I said that was a mistake because it's just, you know, I thought there could have done something else. I still, to this day, think that is an incredible, tight little build on that set. That is a really cool, you know, at the time, pretty girthy, like freighter, you know, sort of transport ship. I think it smokes a lot of stuff that I've seen since then, to be honest with you.
Agreed. Right? That thing's built like a brick, too. I mean, you throw that thing out a window, it's going straight through. That thing's a solid build. It's not falling apart.
That one was on like a mid shelf. My daughter was 3 or whatever. Boom. I mean, I think little tiny 1 or 2 pieces came off, nothing significant. Yeah. I am kicking myself for not grabbing one. I think I saw them for like 70 at Target towards the end. I probably should have.
That'd be kind of a cool little fleet.
Of those? Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
There you go. All right, let's get into this. You're going to have to explain this one to me because I don't think I'm there yet. This is, in fact, an Obi-Wan Kenobi figure, but it qualifies for this Bounty Hunters episode because it is Rako Hardeen or Rocco Hardeen, however it's really pronounced. Yeah, not familiar with his work. Is this a tattoo or blood? What's happening here? Because I like obviously the headpiece is pretty baller.
Yeah. So that's a tattoo on there.
There you go.
Yeah, really cool Clone Wars arc. You really enjoyed that one as Cad Bane really involved in it. But basically, yeah, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi after he took some special serum to make him take the appearance of this Reiko Hardin character. But really cool figure, extremely detailed printing, all the way from the legs, the hips, the torso, the head. One of the most beautiful, printed heads we've gotten from Lego Star Wars, in my opinion. It has that Clone Wars style to it, but it's also got tons of detail. This one even has printing on the back of the head, I believe. I think this one does have some design on the back of the head. Nothing too crazy, but like just some like creases on the back of the head, kind of like down towards the neck a little bit more. So very cool figure. And he's only about $10.
And Eli just shouted out, apparently Tyler has these in the Indie Brick Den. Tyler, are you still running your celebration over there? He was running a really deep discount. Maddie might go clear him out after this. I'm not sure. But,
maybe so. I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah, no, I think he was running like 40% off, and I think he was doing it off of Average Bricklink or something like that. Yeah. So guys, go support Tyler Life Bricks on his Bricklink store, man. He's got some heater deals and some heater figs over there.
Yeah, go pick up one of these guys from Tyler. This is a cool figure for sure.
Only came in which he has I hear he has an amazing layaway program that Brent is participating in currently. It's kind of an inside joke. No, Brent has. You probably have this going with some of your friends, Maddie, where they're like, all right, stash me of this, stash me of that, stash me of this, stash me of that, and then you're like, all right, are you gonna like clear this out at any point, or like what's happening here? But no, he's like holding them a few figs, and we keep joking like, when's he gonna pull trig?
Tyler's too nice. I don't do that, guys. If anyone's about to shoot me a message, you have to hit up Tyler for that one.
I mean, with like good friends, you never do a holdy hold. All right, that's fine.
Oh yeah. So, sometimes I do, but not like.
But not like for 6 months. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Tyler went on sale right after I placed an order with him. Well, Matt, layaway Brent. No, Brent's stacking a really nice order. What's that up to, Tyler? It's climbing. He keeps adding things. I think there's a Thriller in there. Did you pick up a Thriller, Maddie?
Sorry, say that one more time.
It's a Thriller. It's a Thrawn Tyler figure. It's an exclusive.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have not. I thought that was an evolution of the Throner. I was like, whoa, where are we? How'd that evolve?
The Throner. Yeah. Dude, we need that ship with a Throner just up in it. That'd be hilarious. All right. Last but not least, now this one is just called Straight Up Bounty Hunter. And this comes from the Jack 14's set. What's the story on this one? Value's been climbing. You just think it's a cool one. What's the deal here?
Man, this is such a cool figure. So if you guys haven't already, if you have a Disney Plus membership right after this, go on and look up Yoda Chronicles. I think the Yoda Chronicles are on there. I think there's only like 2 or 3 episodes, but it's super, super cool. The plot around Yoda Chronicles is making Force-sensitive clones, and they come out with this Jack 14 character who's basically like the Lego version of Starkiller, if you know anything about Starkiller from back in the day. So it's really cool. It's super funny. There's all these like absolutely hilarious scenes and just comedy and everything. Yeah, Yoda Chronicles genuinely went crazy. It was wild. Such a good story plot. Like I go back and rewatch that occasionally, but only take a few minutes of your time, and you'll see this guy in there. He's one of the bounty hunters that was hired to track down Jack 14, I believe. You see him a little shootout scene in the cantina. But for just a rando like Lego character, this guy was never in anything canon for Star Wars. Star Wars didn't make this guy up. This was a character made up by Lego, just like Jack 14 was. So I know for a fact this guy's never going to be remade. And if you don't have this guy already, go add him to your collection, man. He's only
like. Say what he's kind of going for now.
Yeah, he's only about 15 or 20 right now. He came in that Jack 14 Stealth Starfighter. That was the first Yoda Chronicles set, I believe, back in the day. And fun fact that Jack 14 Stealth Starfighter, although it was not a canon Star Wars ship, I believe, looks an awful lot alike like those E-Wings that we're seeing in the Ahsoka show. Very, very similar. So my theory,
a lot of people are counting that, by the way, as the first E-Wing, So that's the black and red one, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Mostly black, a little bit red highlights.
Yeah.
I wonder if Star Wars saw that. They're just looking back for a new design for a ship. They saw that one. They're like, okay, we're putting it in the show. I don't know, man. I don't know. That could be a theory.
I think I heard the E-Wing was already in play before that. I'll have to check. Like Lucas, like officially, yeah, like they were already like working on like what's the evolution of the X-Wing gonna look like for like the New Republic and everything. So
well, there goes my theory.
No, you might be right, but whatever. I said I heard, you said you heard. It's like whatever. Doesn't matter.
That was all speculation. I hadn't really heard anything about it.
1,000,000%. So. And speaking of speculation,
on the fly.
Disclaimer: this is not an investment show. We're not giving financial advice.
For sure.
And I mean, again, guys, I really think again, if you want to stock a few of these away, do what you want to do. But I think the coolest part of this is having experts on, and they can kind of tell you what's going on with certain figures that are moving, figures that are retiring, what they think might happen. Because, as you know, Maddie, the future is often accurately predicted by history, and so if you kind of can see what's happened before with similar figures in a similar niche with a similar character. In the right set at the right time, short shelf lives. There's so many wild variables that kind of make up why these things pop up. Guys showing back up, dying off. We've kind of covered a lot of that on here. I will say I was a little bit surprised, and I will say I was wrong. I have no problem doing that. I really thought Thrawn was going to take off, but I think, like on one hand, he kind of delivered on the show, but on another hand, a lot of people were kind of left meh with him. I think if he would have just like completely balled out, I still think that figure would have shot up, but I just don't know if he was kind of dope enough on the show to cause the market to go crazy. What do you think?
Going back to one of the things you guys have been saying on your previous episodes, like all the hype around new sets coming out, people getting them early, you see all these videos about it, and then when this set gets on the shelf, it's kind of like, I've been staring this thing in the eyes for the last 30 days. I'm not sure if I really need to pick it up. Maybe that's the same thing that kind of happened with Thrawn, between the Lego side of the hype, like such a cool figure, everyone talking about it, it's expensive, and then also the Disney and Star Wars side of things. Well, Thrawn's coming for the last 2 years. I don't know, man. Maybe the diehard Thrawn fans probably already picked it up, and maybe the casuals are like, okay, well, is that all Thrawn is? Like you said, maybe he would have done better if
he wasn't hyped as much.
Yeah, if it wasn't hyped as much, maybe if it was underhyped and over delivered instead of overhyped and a little bit under delivered.
So I agree 100%. All right, last call. Anything else we want to cover? I'll do mine very quickly. I was thinking about, as we were putting this together, this is something I've been looking at because the price isn't like too crazy, but if you're looking to get into some bounty hunters, you can still get this battle pack. Now, this is the Amazon price, which, obviously inflated. I don't know what this sort of, trades for on the daily, but Maddie, this is a nice little starter pack for, if you want to get some bounty boys in the collection.
Agreed. And I mean, right there, you got a lot of the figures from that the Empire Strikes Back bounty hunter scene aboard the Executor Star Destroyer, right?
Yep.
So really cool little battle pack right here. Call it a battle pack or small set. You can't really amass it, but it's still great little value. That Bosk is really nice because it actually has toe printing. Like you can see his little claws on his toes, where the other version of Bosk.
Let me see those little piggies. Oh, there they are. So cute.
Yeah. You see 3 little piggies lined up.
You're getting 4. I think it's 4 Lom, right? And then Dengar, Bosk, and then an IG-88. I'd say the IG-88 is really the only sort of dust in the set, but
this
all in all, cool little bike too. I mean, I really like the colorway on the bike. Yeah. I would say this bike is on the higher end of some of these sort of battle pack builds that I've seen, just because I happen to like blue a lot. But I don't know. I think it's got a decent amount of girth for what it is. I'll take it.
Now,
but if I see this on a deal
on this, but I thought the last time I watched the Clone Wars through, which is a few months ago, I thought I noticed that speeder in that scene when they're trying to kill Mace Windu, and you have the bounty hunters jump on that speeder or run out to the Venator to look at the wreckage. I thought that speeder from the battle pack was that speeder from the episode. Now, I could have gotten that mixed up in my mind, but I think that's where it came from.
Tyler. Look, no, that's cool. I'll definitely. What's cool is I am seeing stuff in the show that I've seen sets of, and it had no context. Tyler, objectively a top 3 for a battle pack, I think it is. But if you're looking for a little starter kit box of boys, little box of bounties, you know, like you can pick that up. Just saying, I don't have any of those except for the IG-88. I don't think.
What I think they should have done.
I do have a Dengar or whatever somewhere. Yeah.
So at that time, we did have Dengar, but we had no version of Zuckuss yet. I think what they should have done, make a slightly beefier build and add a Zuckuss figure to that set and make it $20 instead of, I believe that was when battle packs were like $11.99. I think that was $11.99 time. But put a Zuckuss fig in there, little beefier build, make it 20. That would have been sweet. But I still like this set, even though it's not.
Here's M&R when you need him. I don't know if Ryan if he's out there, he's probably shaking his head on some of this stuff. But you know,
that was 2017. Okay, maybe that was that might have been more than $11.99 then.
Sean, should we buy a sealed 2002 Jango Fett Slave one from Amazon? Oh boy, it's gonna get ugly. I know. Fett Lego. This is gonna be bad.
I sold the sealed Jango Fett Slave one with a carry case about year ago. I think a year ago.
1200 on Amazon. 1273. You can get that. Tyler, Merry Christmas to you. Should have turned that $15 pack into a $1,500 UCS Super. Gave us everyone. Yeah, that would have been cool.
That would have been cool for sure.
2 $1,500 sets every January 1st. Ryan's too busy sanding down the helmet warts on his clone figs. Last call, Finch Dallow. Yeah, I mean, he's a super rare figure. I don't know if he's definitely not a bounty hunter, but what's going on with him? Last I've looked, he's like 700-800. Is he still around that?
Yeah, I haven't sold one for about a year. Last one I sold was about a year ago, and I think it sold for about $650. So I can't give you a good estimate on that one because I
look into it every once in a while because I think it's interesting. It was like 7 to 8. I'd say a couple as of a month ago or so.
Out of all the expensive figures, like the $500+ figs, that one would be very last on my list. I have zero interest in that figure compared to the other ones. I mean, you think about
it has nothing to do with the Clone Wars, right?
So. Yeah, or even original trilogy. I mean, for me, it's like, okay, it's has something to do with Clone Wars. Definitely interest is peaked. Prequels, definitely interest is peaked. Original trilogy, interest is still peaked. Maybe not as much as the Clone Wars or prequels, but still peaked. But then you get to the sequels and like, man, I just can't get excited about that one.
Hey, man, at some point, and maybe it's you on, I don't know, but it would be, we kind of in the Sith episode looked at Kylo Ren. I still think Kylo's got some upside, and I still think there could be some gems from those sequels. It'll be really interesting to see which ones sort of develop or if they develop, because everything's going to come full circle. And I'm telling all of you that are willing to listen that there will be a generation that thinks that's the greatest set of Star Wars movies there ever was, just like this current generation that's claiming the prequels are the greatest set of Star Wars movies. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm seeing it happen to me in real life. So,
I don't know. We'll see.
Maddie, I'm telling you, I lived it. Everybody hated the people thought Sith was okay, but everybody trashed those movies back in the day, just like they're trashing these here. There was one, people kind of generally like Force Awakens. Everybody's super mixed on Last Jedi, and then everybody universally hates Rise of Skywalker. So like, it's got the makeup of this thing. And you got to remember, my daughter, who's 5, Rey is her Luke, man. There are going to be people where Rey is their Luke, and that's going to happen. Or your Anakin, or Tyler's Anakin, or whatever. I mean, like, it's going to happen. The question is how long and whatever. Do I think they have the staying power that the other ones have? Probably not. You know, one thing that would help is they should develop a series. I don't want to turn this into a whole thing, but they should develop some sort of animated series or something to help that thing along, like they did with the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars rescued the prequels. It made the prequels what they are, in my opinion. It's probably a fact, but it's besides the point.
I'll say two quick things about that. So one about the sequel figures. The one sequel figure I would buy a bunch of are the First Order Stormies. The plain generic, the regular First Order Stormies.
Those are awesome.
Those boys are about $3 a pop, and you can't go wrong with a nice little clean white armor builder at $3 a pop. Second thing I'll say about that is, what was I going to say now?
We're talking
sequels. Second thing I'll say about that, as far as like a whole generation really liking the sequels at some point, there's a lot of kids that come into my Whatnot streams, 10, 12-year-old kids who you would think would probably be growing up with the sequels. But when they come into the streams, they want clones. They don't want any First Order Stormies.
Well, it's possible, certainly possible that their parents are of the age to influence, that were Clone Wars themselves.
Could be.
Or they could have found it on their own. I'm not saying it's impossible. Look, all I know is what I know and what I lived through. And, it's not rose-colored glasses. Like, I saw it and felt it and read it and absorbed it. And largely everybody didn't like those. Very eerily similarly, I don't know if that makes sense, but it was very similar to sort of the general disdain for these sequels. So that's very interesting. The biggest thing that it doesn't have going for it is George had no fingerprints on it. So I'll give you that. George had nothing to do with that sequel. I don't know if that matters, but it probably made the quality definitely take a hit in its longevity, probably. So
the difference is, like, you do have the internet now, so I don't know. There's that kind of throws a whole nother wrench in it. But I wasn't getting a feel as far as what people were thinking back in that day. I just saw starships flying around as a kid, and I loved it. So I did not live through that era the same way you did, and had the cognitive ability to perceive that. So I can't say anything about
Tyler's stirring the pot. I can't get into this right now. Jalen's is interesting. Attack of the Clones better than Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't fight anybody to the death on that one. I still think Attack of the Clones is pretty bad, though.
Yeah,
I know it sounds crazy, but dude, at the time it was like, oh my god, like people were furious. Thank God Sith rescued that thing. All right, what are we doing?
That movie growing up was my favorite Star Wars movie. It was Attack of the Clones.
That's what I'm saying. But see, that's what I'm saying. So everyone's saying it's bad, just like these growing up, my daughter's movies are going to be. That's the first one she watched for it. Now, don't get me wrong. I've trained her well, Yeah. She appreciates and likes Luke and Leia, but if you asked her who she wants to be for Halloween, still, it's going to be right. I can't do anything about it. All right. We'll do this super shout out to Ben's 310, and then we're going to roll out of here, boys. Thoughts on Pre-Vizsla? Will it continue to rise in price or be recreated?
I think it'll continue to go up. That's such a baller figure right there. They did a really good job with him. Love that cape that he's got. Lego's not going to remake him anytime soon. With how many Disney Plus shows that are coming out and that sort of thing, they don't have time to revisit a Clone Wars character that was relevant, 10 plus years ago. So
there you go. All right. Well, man, I had a lot of fun, Maddie. We went a little overtime, but you know what? We had to miss FIGANOMICS last week because I was on the road and we just had some challenges getting the show up. But guys, I appreciate you guys coming back in. Still 76 of you strong there out in the Girth Gang watching this thing late on a Tuesday night as far as Eastern. Maddie, once again, you're the man, the expert, the guy I want to call in whenever you're available. You're always welcome to be on the show. And guys, if you haven't already, go check out Maddie's Minifigs over on Instagram as well as whatnot. And it's everything we say he is. He's a cool guy. He's a smart guy. And he just so happens to have some of the most fire figs on the planet, often at reasonable deals, and definitely undercutting some of the estimates that we're seeing there. I've seen it, Maddie. Anything can happen in an auction. You got some fire over to me. I feel like I did pretty well, and you had a bazillion people there, but I kind of had an agenda. I was sneaking in, kind of riding for the OT. Things can happen in there, you know. So,
oh yeah. Appreciate the shout out. Thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem. And I finally got my Amidala, you know, and I was happy to give you the business on that. So
I appreciate it.
See, I still have love for the clone era. There you go.
Oh yeah.
But that figures that figures fire, even if I hate everything about everything going on around there.
I think you bought a Revenge of the Sith Anakin during that same stream, didn't you?
I might have been a prequel boy on there.
I think you were.
So shout out to Maddie, shout out to Tyler, shout out to Max from West Coast Bricks, any ACOB alum, shout out to all the members there in the chat. And guys, if you guys wanted to have a hot take on the show for us to react to, send it to me, Brickheads Pod. I think it'd be kind of fun. Yeah. Other than that, I think that's gonna be the show. So I cannot hear the music. I'm assuming it's playing.
Let's go.
So, I need to check my computer here to see what's going on. But for Maddie's Minifigures, again, go check them out. This is Sean the Right Way, and this show right here has been the Bounty Hunters episode of Figanomics. We will see you this Thursday on ACOB, and as promised, I'm going to tell you what it's going to be about. We're going to get into
live buy. It's a live announcement.
That's right. We're going to do a live announcement. It is, of course, because we haven't done it yet. It's going to be seasonal. It is going to be the best of the Halloween slash spooky sets. Right? We're going to talk Hidden Side. You know, we're going to talk Monster Fighters. We're going to talk some of these silly little witch and cat combos on there. Anything goes. Halloween special, and our guest for the very first time will be Brick Lover 18.
Oh, nice.
Who we refer to as Lover constantly. So I cannot wait personally to say Lover about 78 times on that stream. So Brick Lover 18 will be there. We're going to talk spooky sets, all that stuff, Hocus Pocus, the whole nine, the whole thing. It's very themed for Halloween because we are coming up upon that date. And there it is. There's a reveal for Thursday. We will see you guys right here next week on Figanomics. Peace.